Zlatko is a matchmaker and promoter for Fight Club Rush.
Basically, my goal is to make Scandinavian cage warriors. That's my goal. When I do like this with my phone and don't see the screen, then I'm free. But as soon as I check my phone, I maybe have 10 messages. This is what I know. This is what I like. This is what I always wanted to do.
What is next for FCR? You want more events? You mentioned it. Are we talking about more events only in Sweden, Scandinavia, also beyond that? What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today I'm here with Zlatko. Zlatko is a matchmaker and promoter for Fight Club Rush. Thank you, Zlatko, for being here with us.
Thank you for your time and interview time and space.
Zlatko, before we dive into Fight Club Rush, which is one of the biggest organizations, if not the biggest organization in Scandinavia, let's talk a bit about you. How did you get into combat sports? And was it something from the beginning of your life, or did it come later?
No, actually, I was playing ice hockey as every kid in Sweden. I'm not Swedish, but I like the ice hockey. I like the adrenaline to play that game. And then when I was 15 years old, I got my friend was like, "Come, we play kickboxing," And I was like, "All right, let's try kickboxing and see," because I always loved the Rocky movies and I follow it a little bit. Mirko Krokop, because my nationality is Croatian, so I love Mirko Krokop because he was like from same part there where I'm from, and he was my idol basically, and I like Mike Tyson and stuff like that. And then I'm like, okay, I try kickboxing, and then I get fucked up in my sparring session. I was like lying to the coach. It was the end of the term, it was March maybe,
Yeah.
Like, have you sparred before? I was like, yeah, of course. I'm boxing. I have done this before, just to fit into the class, And then I get fucked. I was like, in the beginning, I have some techniques, and I get fucked, but I love it. And then I quit ice hockey, and I start to doing kickboxing or K1 rules here in Sweden.
Yeah.
And I started to compete. I did maybe 15, 20, I don't know, fights. Amateur fights, full contact, but amateur fights.
Okay.
And and then I wanted to be part of the to work with fighting, because I was watching like video logs with Dana White, how was he traveling, watching fights, matchmaking, and I was like at one event in Sweden, and I saw. I was like, I want to fight here because I was fighting there, not professionally, but I was fighting. But in my mind was like, I would like to arrange something like this. I was 19 years old then. And that dream stuck to me all the time. And I was like 20 years old when I felt like let me put everything on paper, see how much I can arrange a MMA event or kickboxing event at that time. And when I came up to I don't know, some number, money, I didn't have the money to do it. And I was like, fuck it. It's easy to fight, And then I quit with fighting, and then I actually wanted to be in the business. So I want to be doing with management and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I moved to Serbia because my wife was living there. And I was working here in Sweden, and I moved to Serbia. I was there for 2 years. I didn't have so much stuff to do, basically. I would just have fun, and be with her. And then I was like, shit, maybe I should start something here in Balkans, and doing something, and to get to know people, and then I can start to meet management and stuff like that. That's what I wanted to do. So I'll start my portal actually, and doing interviews you're doing now in Balkans. It's MMA Novosti. We became the biggest MMA portal in all of Balkans in 2 years. We had big viewership numbers, few millions of few interviews. And then I moved back to Sweden, and I saw okay, I cannot live in Sweden and doing Balkan stuff, I need, or Serbian, Croatian stuff.
Yeah.
I need to focus on Sweden and try to follow my dream and make this event eventually to come true, to be matchmaker, promoter. And then 2017, my colleague Jürgen, they started there's an MMA club here in town where I live. They started MMA league competition. The name MMA league competition was FCR, Fight Club Rush 1. And then you had in the Swedish MMA league, you have Alejandro Chimaev and many good fighters here actually, And then from there, basically, me and my brother sit down and with Jürgen, we told him we should make something bigger of this. We go out from the league and be FCR, just doing matchmaking by ourselves and trying to promote stuff, you know. In the first 5 years, we were just working regular jobs and doing that. So it was pretty messy, you know, and doing all this kind of stuff with no support, financial or something like that. And then UFC, middle of the Corona, we did an event. And from nowhere, I get this message on Messenger from a guy that told me, I'm from Fight Pass. I would like to have an interview with you. And I would like to maybe broadcast your event. I was like, this is a joke, you know. I was like, if this, I was middle of summer, Corona times. We had the event, like it was bad economically as fuck. It was like, shit, we're going to do one more event to 2020, you know? Yeah, summer 2020. And then I get this message. I was like, shit, this is some joke, you know, because I always wanted to have my event on UFC Fight Pass. That's kind of my dream, you know, to Fight Pass and produce future UFC stars, future UFC fighters. And I was like, if this is true, call me. And then I get called from Las Vegas, and the rest you can see there.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what you did right there. Because I was going to ask you...
Yeah, it was just compressed everything.
Yeah.
In general, yeah.
I was going to ask you... why did you become matchmaker? But I think you already kind of answered here. Like your dream was to create like a league to promote like stars, future stars for the sports.
Yeah. I want to make basically my goal is to make Scandinavian cage warriors. You know that's my goal. And I cooperate a lot of cage warriors with fighters as manager also. And I believe the UFC is the biggest platform for a reason. The only platform you can for real become a star.
Yeah, I agree. I understand.
Especially in Westward, you know, in this part of it.
And what was your first experience as a matchmaker like? What was it?
It's fucked up, man. Like my friend was a matchmaker and promoter for FFC, one organization that doesn't exist no more.
Okay.
And he told me when I call him, his name is Marko Petrak, you know. He's a really famous journalist in Balkans. And I told him I'm going to do events and stuff like that. He was like, this is a nightmare. I was like, what the fuck do you mean a nightmare? I'm doing what I love. Yeah, you love it. They're going to hate me at the same time because it's so complicated sometimes. Sometimes it's perfect, you know, but sometimes it's really complicated to get everything like this and put it on the same date. And everybody's there and everybody's glad and everything went as you expect, you know?
Yeah.
So that job is special. Matchmaking is really special, especially now when you have a lot of events, a lot of other promotions. And like I'm not only doing matchmaking, like I'm promoting, I'm working on new venues, I'm working on sponsorship deal, I'm working on TV deal, everything. So it's like, it's really special to do this. It's if you have to really want this, you keep doing this, you know?
Yeah.
Many people want to do this, they're doing this for 2 years and then burn out. I have done that 7-8 years. And as I told you, we didn't have any investments, we didn't have anything. We just started from our own pockets and trying to build up something. And I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Where we came from to this, it's okay, but we can do it much, much better. And it's take time.
Yeah, but it's really encouraging, right? Because you did it in quite a few years. We already became quite famous. I mean, Fight Club Rush, today it's a brand that people know about, and you're on Fight Pass, like you said. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I have heard from a guy. He told me, first year is always honeymoon. Second year, the problem starts. Third year, you are fucked.
Yeah.
You know, fourth year, fifth year, then you like really want this and really want to keep going. And you need to evolve. You need to open mind and see new opportunities, how to make this shit rolling. You know, it's really difficult to do this what we're doing, but all the promoters, not just we. People don't realize it. You know. Maybe people don't understand everything around it.
And what, in your opinion, what would you say is the biggest quality for a matchmaker? What makes a great matchmaker?
You have to first you have to understand fighting somehow.
Yeah.
You have to be open-minded and follow it. And you have to, like, I can understand. If you feel like this is the fight, you know, not just like I have one fight, like I want to see these styles against styles.
Yeah.
I get like battle fights in my stomach, basically. Then I know I have done a good job, you know. That I think you have to go after feeling. You have to analyze fighters. Sometimes you don't make it good. You think this is a great fight and it's a shitty fight. You know? Sometimes you don't expect something about this fight big. The best fight ever you had, you know. So it's really difficult, you know. But you have to feel like this is what I want to see. You know, what will I like to see if I see them in the audience?
Yeah.
But this is really hard because all the injuries, drop-offs. Like sometimes you have 50% of the fight cards away 3 weeks before, and you're flying guys that are not in shape or not on that level, but this guy have to have fight. You know,
exactly.
It's really really hard, you know, because sometimes you have perfect fight card, and things start to fall off, and then you have not the perfect fight card no more. You know, so it's really difficult. It's really different to do it, but it's really fun because not every day. Every day is not the same. You know?
Yeah. It's always different. Like you mentioned, MMA especially is unpredictable, and sometimes you have fights that are falling through or falling off. What's the craziest situation you had to deal with in that matter?
It's many crazy situation, man. Trust me. Yeah, I had one guy. Listen to this, man. Like this fight, I had one fight. One guy get injured or sick Monday in fight week, so it's 5 nights left to the event. And I called this guy's manager, like, tell your fighter the fight is off. I cannot find anybody to jump in on 4 days' notice. You know, it's impossible. Like you can, but it's almost impossible. You know. And I was like, unfortunately, we have to cancel the fight. And the manager didn't answer me. You know. And I was like, what the fuck? Why did he not answer me? You know. And he didn't answer. And then I was going to find his Instagram account. He was at the airport on the way from Brazil to Sweden, you know. And I was like, listen, I sent message to him, don't come, your flight is off.
Yeah.
The message didn't go through.
Oh, no.
So basically, I get in touch with his manager when he was in Europe, this guy, on the way to Stockholm, you know. So this guy didn't know that he didn't have a fight on Thursday, you know. And he landed. He was like, "Where is the weigh-in?" I was like, "Man, you don't have a fight for 2 days back. You came from Brazil to Sweden. It's a long journey."
Yeah.
And he didn't have a fight because his manager didn't want to answer me a question and read my messages. So, message to all managers: read the message matchmaker sent you because it was totally unnecessary time for this guy to come to Sweden.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Those days, I think FCR has become a massive platform for European MMA. Not only Scandinavian, but you have a lot of prospects from other part of Europe. Did you always see this happening, that FCR would become that big of a platform, or are you being surprised also by how quick that success came?
Man, I think because when you're in this bubble, you don't. If you ask me, we're not. We may be top 10 in Europe, something like that. But I don't put in notice on this because you're working from event to event to event to event. You don't enjoy it and can say like, "Oh shit, I did a good job." I'm never satisfied with my job, and we always want better. Every event needs to be better on every aspect. You know, at the same time, you put new stuff that you need to do that you have never done before. So every event we want to do better. So I can never enjoy it and say good job, man, because I don't think it's a good job. It has to be better. That's our mentality in our company or organizations. We're always trying to make it better, you know. And you have to find balance between that and family life. You know, that's the only thing I want to focus. But of course, I think we're growing, but this is on the beginning, I believe, and. But our in the same time, our goal is to be the highway to UFC, you know, for prospects to get to the biggest league in the world, basically. That's our main goal, you know.
And what's your favorite part about being a promoter? Not a matchmaker, but really the promoting part. Was the aspect you like the most?
I like, you know, let me think. Every time before event starts, when we empty arena after rehearsal, I love to go up last seat in the arena and sit down and watch how layout is, where we start from, where we are now, how it looks now, how it looked before. I like that feeling to see like evolve if that in that part you're doing, you know. And this is many thanks to people that work with us, full hearted to make this. It's really hard work, and every time because you know we don't have investments, we don't have the big companies behind us. We start from zero basically from our own pocket. I'm glad to have every vendor that we made it. I'm glad to make it and just to sit there and enjoy the calm before the storm. That's my favorite part when it comes to. I sink in the energy then. Honestly, it's really rare. I should maybe say something else, but that's my favorite part. The calm, because your phone is ringing all the time. People ask you 2,000 questions. You have to handle 1,000 problems. But I love that 30 minutes in arena when everything's empty and you see the lights and everything. We rehearse and just enjoy because now we're here.
That's pretty cool.
It's difficult. It's difficult enjoyment, but I enjoy that atmosphere before we let others to get into arena.
And as a organization, there's always that kind of struggle. Are you building stars or are you trying to make exciting fights only? How do you balance all that? Because you like to, of course, build stars that you're already doing, but you also try to make exciting fights at FCR. How do you balance all this?
Yeah, the thing is, I think many organizations in Europe and all over the world, they pump a record, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that organization. I want to be the organization when for instance, UFC matchmakers watch FCR fighter, he has been tested.
Yeah.
That's, I think many guys coming to big leagues get killed there, get home, and their careers are over because they have faced, not bumps, I can say, they face bad opponents. Sometimes you have to face in short notice, but you as a promoter or matchmaker has to get into that whiteboard when you make a fight card and see prospect versus prospect. What can he do to him? What can he do to him?
Yeah.
Of course, you have underdogs and favorites, but I want to make fights where everybody can win.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and that's the thing with us. Yeah, I see like I see many organizations, not that are on UFC fight, but more organizations that are external from UFC fight, but the building guys, like they are 10-0.
Yeah.
You know? And then you get one guy who has 5-5 come and kill him because that guy had been the 10th time. He basically run through his opponent and then get reality check, and that reality check is expensive.
Yeah.
You know, and I have seen fighters that it was perfect record, pump it up. Everybody talk about that, undefeated, and then you get the guy who just wants to win and kill him. You know, you as a fighter have to be tested before you get to the biggest league. That's why how I feel about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I try to do prospect versus prospect directly, you know.
I agree. I think it's a good vision. Definitely, FCR is kind of unique in that approach because, like you said, a lot of organizations they are building somebody by making him get some wins before going to a big league.
Yeah.
And we've seen that before. That some guys they just facing a wall at some point.
Yeah. And I like to see like Cage Warriors how they do.
Yeah.
All of the guys deliver when it comes to UFC. They deliver. That's what you want is big league, biggest league in the world. You want to have guys that deliver. When you come to, for instance, UFC, and you like basically smash everybody, you know, then you get another. You see you different. And I want to have this guy. You know, when these guys have been in FCR, and when he signed with UFC, you're gonna like this guy's for real deal. He had been tested in his career, and I don't think 90% or 80% of organizations doing that.
Yeah.
And that's issue also because if your audience you pay tickets $25 or $20, I don't know how much money. You get to arena, you have 10 fights, 10 finished first round knockouts. What, like, do you like the sport? No, you fuck the sports.
Yeah.
People want to see blood. People want to see good fights, good techniques, and want to see excited fights. It may be guys who only have 2-3 fights,
Yeah.
But if you deliver, everybody's winner. You know, if you're a good fight, everybody's winning on the end. You have lost, but this is not boxing. This is MMA.
Yes.
You can. You have Morgan Chapa from France.
Yeah.
He's like 49, something like that, when he entered to UFC. He's fucking winning it.
Yeah, he's crazy good.
He was ready. He wasn't ready maybe 5 years ago, but now he's ready. He had 9 lost. He has learned 9 times what is fucking change. And that's my philosophy, you know, as on the promoter, small organization. You have to deliver to bigger leagues to be legit.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't success with that because sometimes, as I told you, people cancel 1 week before, and you have to try and find some guys that are not ready. They might maybe win if they have 3 months, but they have 1 week, they lose. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing, but your purpose should not be, you're gonna win this fight, have 1 more win. Your purpose should be, you have a test, then we see. You know.
Yeah. I think it's pretty smart way to see the fighting world. And what do you think is the biggest misconception about your job? Like one thing people completely misunderstand.
About what?
About your job in general, like what it is, or
it's chill. It's not chill. People say like, oh, you're sitting here doing it with phone. For instance, my kids are playing here. I done 3 interviews today. This is third interview.
Yeah.
I home 4 o'clock. Now it's still sitting in the chairs. It's almost 6 o'clock. But like basically, people understand that you're a full-time worker. You know, like I can when I do like this with my phone and don't see the screen, then I'm free. But as soon as I check my phone, I maybe have 10 messages. Yeah. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, 7 o'clock, you work directly because you read the messages, you read the checking your phone. You have that's the job. You know, like for instance, my job. If I want to take vacation, I don't take the phone with me. You know, that's vacation. But as soon as you have your phone in your hand, you're working. You know, okay, you're not working like I don't know in an oil platform or something like that, but you're working. In here, you're working all the time. Then. Yeah. You don't have days off.
Full-time job.
A little bit more, but full-time. Yeah.
More than full-time. If you weren't involved in the fighting world, what would you be?
I would be involved in fighting world. Yeah. I don't know. I just want to do that. That's
there's no other way.
I just want to do that. That was my goal since I was 19. I love fighting. This is my passion project, and I'm glad that it is like it is. So I don't know, man. To be honest, I would like maybe be involved in another sport, ice hockey, management, agency. I like to do this kind of stuff, you know. Yeah. I like to be involved, but this is what I know. This is what I like. This is what I always wanted to do. And there's basically only one plan, you know. Yeah. Plan A.
Plan A. No plan B.
Just find how you're gonna roll with it, you know.
Yeah, some cool.
With bad days and good days, you have to try to find ways all the time.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty inspiring. Yeah, no plan B, only plan A. I think
it's pretty cool. Solve the problem all the time. Just find the solutions. That's the thing.
We came to the end of the first part of the interview. Now it's gonna be the 10 quick questions. Are you ready for that?
No.
Yeah. Okay, let's go for the Fight IQ Dash. The dream fight you wish you could book for FCR.
Like overall, all over.
Overall, yeah.
I would like to see Roberto Soldic because of Croatian. You know, the one FC fighter.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Against UFC champs currently 77.
All right. Okay. I want to see that fight.
That would be my dream fight to see because I love Roberto and I love his style. So Bilal Muhammad, I think he will sleep there. But that's what I would like to see that, you know, or see Sean Strickland against, I don't know, like something like that, you know. Yeah. I would like to see that kid won at UFC, not one FC. I want to see in UFC.
Okay. Yeah. The best fight in FCR history.
Andreas Gustafsson against Tony Lampinen. I watched that.
Yeah. That was the last one, right? From Gustafsson at FCR.
Yeah, no, he had one more, but there was blood.
He had one more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had blood. You did watch the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was blood. It was fucking insane to sit there and sit that and watch the fight. You see the blood and you're watching like basically part of the meat flying away. Like it was sick, man. Like it was like watching a Rocky movie. You know, it was like, yeah, it was a really sick fight, man. It was memory for life.
Your favorite fighter outside of FCR?
Like overall or current?
Yeah, it can be everywhere.
Before also, no, just current.
Yeah. No, before also.
Krokop, definitely. That's my.
Krokop.
Mirko Krokop is the biggest. How can I say? But I love Sean Strickland also, to be honest.
Yeah,
I like these trash talking stuff with that. Fun. I don't agree on everything, but I like his style on talking. Yeah, I like it Conor McGregor when he was on top, but now it's different.
Yeah. What's the hardest part, matchmaking or promoting?
I'm doing both, so I don't know what's different.
Yeah, same job for you.
But I think it's harder. To be honest, I think promoting is harder. Because I have to do more than I'm doing right now. I have to involve that part in promoting. I do matchmaking a lot, but promoting I have to put more time on and like building my profile. And I'm not the kind of guy. If I don't post a lot and stuff like that, I should do more, and that's really hard.
Okay. If you have to choose one country in Europe where you think are the most underrated talents.
To be honest, I like Holland.
Oh.
Dutch style kickboxing.
Yeah.
And that combined with some MMA skills, with good wrestling and stuff like that, would be insane. Because I love that area of Raymond Deckers and like K1 at that time, Badr Hari, Alice Overeem. To have more than have that style with MMA. If they learn more MMA, I think that would be insane. I love that kind of kickboxing style in that style. So I think people have much more talent there, but they just focus on kickboxing. They should focus more on MMA.
You have a growing scene in MMA now in Holland.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. NFL.
Yeah, and also some. Yeah, I will show you some stuff off camera. If you could have one dinner with an MMA legend, who would it be?
I had dinner with Krokop, so it's a win already.
Yeah.
MMA legend, just like old school, or just current?
It can also be somebody from now. It can be whoever.
The issue with my job, I have dinner with many fighters.
That's true.
Bass Rutten, man, or Randy Jackson, something like that. Okay. I love their videos and stuff like that before. I think it would be really fun at dinner also to talk with these people.
Yeah.
Bass Rutten or Rampage Jackson would be fun. Yeah.
What's one fight you wish was never cancelled?
But FCR, like overall or FCR?
Overall.
Ferguson Khabib was the most talking about it. That was a fight I was watching for a lot or waiting for a lot, and there was sport time canceled. So that was like something that we should see, but we didn't see.
Yeah, I agree. It's a waste. This one would have been a banger, I think.
Yeah.
If FCR could host an event everywhere in the world, where would it be?
Norway.
Okay, nice.
I would like to do it in Norway because they have never had the event before, and I like Norway's nature. I've been there a few times, and I would like to be the first MMA event ever hosting, doing in Norway.
Okay, that's a pretty nice goal. One word to describe Fight Club Rush.
Real fighting.
Okay. Yeah, that was it for the questions. You did good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's go more. Let's dive deeper into Fight Club Rush.
Yes.
So FCR has become quickly one of the, in my opinion, biggest organizations in Europe. What was the original vision when you started to build FCR?
What it is today, basically. That was region. I thought we were gonna be here much later, but this is the vision I have. I just want to have it. I just want to have more. I just want to have more fights. Sorry, it's my kid.
No problem. Don't worry.
More events, but
More events.
Yeah.
What separates FCR from other organizations in Europe? What's the main difference?
We're only in Scandinavia that doing this high quality fighting.
Yeah.
No, not only. We have good fight. We have MMA Gala. You have Cage MMA. You have Battle of Botnia doing good. But I think I don't know. It's really a difficult question because I think we're doing as I like it. You know. Yeah, but I think we have best fights. To be honest, and most prospect there.
Now FCR has been known a bit as a launchpad for future stars, which is what you wanted, of course. Like we saw recently, Andreas Gustafsson coming to the UFC, Bernardo Sopai.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's getting pretty good. How do you decide who gets the big opportunities inside your organization?
I just like trying to see the guys' legacy, what they've done, how they fight. Is it fun? Is it not fun? Test them, and then if they pass the test, then we get the belt fight. But yeah, that's how we decide, and the fight that makes sense at that time. You know, timing is
Scandinavia has now been a producer of big talents in MMA. Like we've got, of course, Hamza Chimaev. Before we got Gustafsson, the one that faced John Jones.
Yeah.
So pretty big talents. Hermansson. There's so many to mention. What do you think makes this region of the world special to develop fighters?
Because this in Sweden, for instance, or Scandinavia, you have a lot of MMA, small amateur MMA events that are connected to MMA leagues, like Swedish MMA League. Basically, you have, I think last year we had 50 or 60 events, like FCR event, all other organization event, and league event. So you can basically fight almost every second weekend if you want. You know, and then you get experience.
Yeah.
And then you get to Swedish national team. Then you get to Gamma or IMF, whatever. Get experience there. And when you're a pro, you're an experienced fighter.
Yeah.
You have been in the fights.
Yeah.
You've been there 20, 30 times. It's nothing new, just the gloves. It's not just it's mentally fucked up, but you take off the shin guards and you have smaller gloves.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the feeling of the loss. You have lost your fight, perhaps. You have been down. You have win again. You have submit people. You have get submitted. You have been in many positions, you know. And I think iron shapes iron. You get every time you lose fight, you get new experience, and when you come to pro league, usually you complete a fighter. You have grappling, you have wrestling, you have striking.
Oh, for sure. I also a big fan of huge amateur journey. Like in Europe, I think we have that more than in the US, for example. We have more people going to IMF, having like maybe 20, 25 amateur fights before turning pro. And for sure, it's a huge help when you turn pro.
Definitely.
So we've seen, like I mentioned, some FCR fighter getting to the big league, which is or UFC, PFL, Bellator, you name it. How does it feel to you to be part of that adventure for them?
I don't know. Fighters watching their own journey all day. They're like, this is my journey. Like they just see like, I've been there, but now I'm here. Fuck that, you know. I'm here.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
But for me, it feels like I have, for instance, one kid sent a message 6 years ago. I want to fight in that cage one day. And then we had like Gustafsson was fighting there. No, 2020, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
First FCR event or something like that. They had like one UFC fighter. Now UFC fighter was not UFC fighter. Like Felipe Lima, I believe.
Yeah, Felipe.
He was fighting there. He told me I want to fight in that cage one day. I saw Felipe. I like him. Blah blah blah. now today or yesterday, I don't know. Yesterday he signed a contract, professional bout agreement to fight the FCR. He told me like I'm gonna fight in the same cage as he fight 5 years ago or 4 years ago. And that's why I feel good. I want to build that platform highway to UFC, especially UFC because I like UFC. I was a UFC fan, and I love UFC basically. When it comes to fights, everything they're doing the best job, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when he sent me that message, and I always think about this. I want kid that's sitting here, maybe 12 years old today. In 6 years, he's gonna have dream to fight there and have FCR log on, the size down, and believe it. From here, you can go to UFC.
Yeah.
That's something special for me.
It must feel pretty good, to be honest.
It's good. Yeah,
it means you're good at your job, right? You do the things the right way.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next question. To be honest, so that's a good step. Do you see FCR as a step to UFC, or do you want maybe in the future also be like that kind of organization? Like, yeah, I want to fight for FCR.
I want them to think I want to start my career there and go to UFC. That was my original goal,
Yeah.
basically. So that's for now. But you never know what you think in 2 years. I maybe change my mind. I want to evolve this. I don't know. I don't have right now. I don't have the ambition to be biggest organization in the world. I don't even think about it. I don't have that goal. I have this goal. I like to see prospect and see if I have right, and then go there and show yourself.
I understand. Yeah, pretty clear. What do you think? Like, there's always, I think, a rivalry between Europe and the US in terms of competition. Like we mentioned, Europe has a lot of amateur, US not so much.
Yeah.
But as a professionally, where do you think the European scene stands compared to the US?
It stands good, but the problem is with the European, not many more American fighters get chance into UFC than European fighters because of visa issues, because of traveling issues, because of the lack of events in Europe.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of good events here with Octagon. You have KSW, you have the PFL coming here also. Like you see that talent pool, they don't get there because UFC didn't take him for his time, and that's shame because I think European may have more talent. To be honest, I think it's more talented.
Yeah.
But the US have a lot of good talent, but they're speaking clear English. They promote much better, and it's much interesting for business, which I understand. But I think we have more talent here, more difficult styles like Russians. You have Dutch style. You have Swedish, Scandinavians. You have the Balkans. You have Poland. The talent pool is sick. And I think if you had more UFC events here, you have seen much more European fighters. And when you check top 10 stars ever in MMA, I think 5 of them are from Europe.
Yeah. And now you see, like you just mentioned, there's a lot of different style in Europe, different backgrounds. And now even you see the rankings of the UFC, for example, or even the champions. There is way more champions in Europe than ever. Georgian, Russian.
Yeah.
So basically, I do think there's a lot to be done, and it would be good for UFC if they would come a bit more to Europe.
And make you more fight nights event here. I think it would be really good for them also because if you see the biggest star ever competing in UFC was Conor McGregor. He's Irish guy. I was watching Conor McGregor against the TLVs in Las Vegas. Man, it was 15,000 Irish people from Ireland that fly to Vegas. So European are more like football fans, they go for the guy, American are more like, fuck him up, but Europeans are more like they go with heart.
I agree.
Like for their team, for the guy from the same country, and like as I told you, have 10 to 50,000 Irish people in Las Vegas traveling to US to watch Conor's fight when he was on top.
Yeah.
I don't see often Americans come to Europe and watch big fights here.
That is definitely.
You understand what I mean? Like it's good for business also. So, yeah.
Like the curiosity from my side, it's not something I prepared, but talking about this, do you think, for example, Ilia Topuria could be somebody like this?
I don't understand why they don't make event in Spain. For
Yeah,
instance.
right.
I don't. It's maybe something behind that.
Yeah.
That we don't know because we have nothing there. But like I'm 100% sure he will fill San Bernardo, like the stadium, without like blinking.
Yeah.
I think it's. I was like, if they come to Madrid and make this big fight in Madrid, I'm gonna buy tickets directly. Like from Sweden, I need to fly 5 hours to here to watch a fight. I would do it, But there's something behind it, everything that we don't see.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a reason why for everything. That's something I have learned with promoting matchmaking. There's always a reason why.
Exactly. That's something you understand better than us for sure. Because
I understand that, but they understand much better why they don't do it.
Coming back to the main course, what's the biggest challenge you face in growing a promotion like FCR? What are the main obstacles you face day to day?
Working with people and like make this go around economically and stress, all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of segments that are really tough, and everything maybe look great, but there's more of a lot of work and a lot of stress and a lot of hustling to make this even look like it does. And that's the lot of stuff that you don't see basically.
Yeah. Do you think, for example, I know, for example, in France, it was illegal for a long time, MMA. So that was the main obstacles for French fighters to become pro, and they couldn't fight in their hometown, in their own country.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing in Sweden, you think, like, for example, MMA has still a bad reputation, or...
There's bad reputation, yeah, because I think it's changed a little bit in Sweden, but for a while, we have Alexander Gustafsson here in UFC currently filming all the time, but still they have Swedish people think fighting, we need a star to be interested in this, but I think it's growing to see future prospects. I see kids coming to events and watching this, and think it's fun, buying shirts, taking pictures with fighters and stuff like that. So it's on the right way, but it should be as football and ice hockey.
Yeah.
It's not there. When we get kids go and watch Division 2 and buy tickets for that, when we get that to MMA, 4 or 5 tickets on not big stars event, then you're going to come there where we should be, but it's not there yet. And I think we need bigger stars for Scandinavia again. I think we have potential. But they need to grow. When you have few stars, then everything will grow. As we did with Alexander Gustafsson.
Yeah. And also, for example, is MMA well broadcasted in Sweden, for example? Because
on national TV, no, it's not broadcast on national TV. It's broadcast on 2 platforms. It's a big, but not national TV, and that's also the thing. National TVs should buy rights for MMA events that have good broadcasting to like promote the event. Because if you put national TV channels number 3 and you see fighting, you normalize it because this is national TV. And it's not the case in Sweden right now. Or big TV stations.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Have you ever been in a conversation with government officials about something like this? Or
the thing is, in Sweden we have a lot of gangs, criminals problem right now. It's a lot of killings and and the majority of doing these crimes are kids. And they have for instance, in Sweden where we live, they think MMA actually going to help. As the politicians for 5 years ago, they didn't want to talk with us. We was barbers, fighting, matchmen, But now we're like, listen, we told them my colleague had a meeting with city politics, and he was like, we have to put this kid into training sessions to learn respect fighting, to learn what training is, to learn discipline, stuff like that. And then we start to make clubs start to make good fighters and guys who was problematic or fighters today. Some of the guys, not everybody, but some of the guys, who was like small criminals, kids making problems. They start fighting and they start to work and has to have to learn discipline because of fighting, Yeah. And now this is stuff that's changing in Sweden to put this kid into this sport, this kind of sport, because they think this is cool. This is really cool sport. So you can compare yourself with this, you know. And then you start to do some this kind of stuff, and now we see the effect. Many of these kids, they're not problematic. They're not more there. They training 2 times a day,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, and then the government saying, "What the fuck is this? Why don't you play ice hockey? Ice hockey costs 4,000 euro per year.
It's crazy.
This costs 1,000. This costs 500 euro, and kids have money for this, not for that.
No, for sure.
They don't have interest in that. Everybody from the problematic city areas can compare themselves with fighters, but not they cannot compare themselves to ice hockey players because this is a long way from them. They don't have money for that.
Yeah.
You know? So us seeing this, that many politicians seeing potential in fighting sports, combat sports, to make better tomorrow.
Yeah, I do think it's a good school for children, like learning martial arts. It learns a lot. It teach a lot of good values and discipline. So I do think it will be something good for the country.
Yeah.
Talking about FCR specifically, what is next for FCR? Do you see? So you want more events? You mentioned it.
Yeah.
But are we talking about more events only in Sweden, Scandinavia, or almost or also beyond that?
We're talking basically Scandinavia. I want first on Sweden, but I want to focus Scandinavia or around here, and trying to challenge myself and see what we can do. So yeah, main focus is Scandinavia, definitely.
Yeah, and would it be what would be an ideal frequency for FCR events in your opinion? Like every month, 2 times a month?
Every second month. Say 6 months per year would be perfect.
Yeah.
We can have 4 events, but take time to put prospects fines 3 months behind that. Every second month, that would be the perfect for us.
And if you had to say, like somebody come to you and ask, okay, what is FCR? How would you describe that to somebody?
No. This is something I love.
Yeah. But how would you say, okay, if you watch FCR, that's what you're going to get?
You can get quality fighting, basically. Real fighting. Sometimes we don't success with that, but our purpose to success with it. Yeah. So real fighting. 2 guys that want to win the fight. There you go. 2 fighters that want to win the fight. Who's going to win? Basically. They don't just come. I try to make fighters that they don't just come for paycheck. They come for fight for real and want to win and be best in the world. Yeah.
That's all. Zlatko, thank you very much. That was my last questions for today.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciated this interview. I think it says a lot about what you're building right now, and it's something people may not be aware of, like the work you're putting in to build, to make MMA bigger than it is, not only in Sweden and Scandinavia, but in the world in general. So thank you for that. Guys, go check FCR it's on the UFC Fight Pass. It's the biggest platform for MMA. If you have UFC Fight Pass, you can watch FCR. Just go get it because, as Zlatko said, there is some great fights there, spectacular fights. So go get it. I will put the socials of FCR in the description of this video. Zlatko, do you have one more thing you wanted to say?
Tune into UFC Fight Pass 29th of March. The event starts 6 o'clock Swedish time. Enjoy the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Take care, Zlatko. See you next time.